wait for everything to catch up. My goodness. Okay, so at least it's showing that I'm live now. Sorry about that, folks. OBS just quit working. It just quit broadcasting. It shut itself down. The only thing I can figure is just the age of the computer, the difference in softwares and all that, and I'm just going to have to get very serious about locating a newer computer. And obviously, since I'm not going to buy a Mac, I will have to get back into Windows. Let's see, test. Okay, there we go. All right, so hopefully folks find their way back, or it starts up again, or however that works. That's a bummer. Why is that still active? There we go. So anyway, apologize. The OBS just shut itself down. Lost everything. Didn't just lose audio, lost video, lost everything. So I'm just gonna keep moving on. What in the world? First of all, let's get this over here. Oh. Wow. Maybe because I'm sitting too high. Oh, sorry, the shoulder was in the way. So I'm leaving this because I need to get that O-ring inside there first. Actually, I could size it for this now. In fact, that doesn't make any difference. I could do it right now for this guy. Let's make sure I'm at the right height here. I don't think I have to take off too awful much. That would be it right there. no wiggle room. It's not. Well, it might be a little tight, but then again, come here. It's also airtight. There we go. All right, so I need to actually adjust that to be a little bit more open. That should do it right there. Yes. And no wiggle room. Okay. Oh, that's funny. Okay, so that now means that I can sit this over that tenon that's on the bowl. This is sized okay. Let's see, I forgot how much that gave me. Oh, nice. Okay, so that's plenty to capture that lid. Oh, that's why. I have found with the Jimmy Clues quick change thing that I want to tighten the tool in the direction that the rotation is hitting the tool. So if so, on the bottom, always on the bottom. Well, on the bottom wing, in most cases, um, that's where it's hitting. Then I want to tighten it. I want to tighten it this way as opposed to tightening it towards me, so that any kind of vibration or whatever that hits that edge is only going to tighten it more. And then if I'm coming this direction, I'll tighten it the other way, this way, for the same reason, so that any kind of issue that wants to torque the tool a little bit, it just tightens it up even more. Not so with the robust, since it's just a collet that goes all the way around. This is an offset kind of deal. Okay, so I am at that point. I can lose this dude. So that'll fit over that bowl. I'm going to have to turn that more than once, I realize, but so be it. I'm trying to get... I think I need to turn this heater down. I'm trying to get... the shape, lines, all that to match up. Okay, let me turn it down. There we go. So let's take this guy out of here. Anyway, that's my idea for tomorrow night. If I am streaming tomorrow night, I guess, I don't know. I guess I haven't quite made up my mind, I suppose. I kind of... Some of that might even depend on whether I'm talking to my kids or grandkids. Christmas Eve. or just on the Christmas day. All right, so there we have that. Now it tells me, okay, very cool. All right. So I can work right within that. And I need to play with that shape a little more. Oops, I don't know if I'm on the right. Come here, you. Right level. I don't think that I am. So I need to bring this up a bit. Or not up, down. Down. And then bring that right there. Okay, so I'm going to follow good habit to check these every now and then. Let's move that back. And actually, I'm going to want to use this guy for now. Alright, so I'm sighting down the inside and the outside of this curve. That's where the spindle guides comes into play. So we'll move you over here. Scrape in there, and then double check my curve here. You know, I need to take it in just a little bit more. And then just a little bit more. So I want to start always in an uncomfortable position. I always have my mark where I want the tool to end. I want it to end, in this case, with the flute closed, where it's pointing to one side or the other, not up or down. So I got my thumb there set already into an uncomfortable position. I want to just raise my arm straight up, and that will rotate the tool automatically. I'm not rotating it on consciously or intending to. It's just because my hand wants, I'm not even in the camera, because my hand wants to move into a neutral position. As I raise my arm, my wrist will automatically turning the tool. So I want to get right where that line starts and bring this in. I'm going to start way up high I'm on the bevel. This is what I call rubbing the bevel. There's no cutting edge in contact. That's all bevel material. I need to engage the cutting edge. You can't see it, but I just saw those shavings come over. I know it's cutting now. So I just need to raise my wrist, raise my arm. That closes, rotates the tool, closes it into the proper position for the cut, and gets me the curve I'm looking for. That's it, in fact. I think. Hold on. Yes, that's it. So that's the curve that I'm looking for, and that does carry all the way through. I could let's put this. Oh, I don't need that. Loosen that. Let's take that out of the way. Let's put this over the top here. So that's where it's going to want to set. So I still need to take this down a little bit, but now I want to set. This onion ring. So let's swap cameras here so you can actually see what I'm doing. So I've got these calipers here. I want to get a diameter. So that's a little bit wide. I need to take it down. I say it's a little bit wide. I want to be a little bit on the inside of this final diameter, and I'll sneak up to it for the final fit. Now I need to transfer this over. I probably will need to lift this guy up, because I don't want my compass to be pointing up. I want it to be either level at center or slightly pointed down where the points are. I don't want to point it up, digging into the material and giving me a catch. Take this right out of my hand. Oh, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it. That's almost it. Alright, so we're going to go with that. Drop that down. So I want to cut in where the where the onion ring is going to go. I think I just said that. Well, that piece is now done. That is a hoser bummer. Let's see. I could turn it into a 3-leaf. One of the leaves just broke. This is why I really don't like. Yeah, I really don't like expansion holes. This is the main reason why. I really do my best to stay away from them. But I thought it would work out okay in this case, but it's just not working out in this case. This is the second time it has squirted out. So I will figure out, let's see. I will have to make a contraction hold. I have to change the size of this thing yet again. Good Lord. All right, it is what it is. I'm going to change everything over to a standard hold in a chuck. where the jaws are contracting down as opposed to expanding out. I really don't like using expansion holds. As I said, I do my best to stay away from them because they are so problematic. It is much safer to use a contracting hold in a chuck than it is to use an expanding hold. Even if you get everything right, the expansion hold is pushing out against the fiber, so it's very easy for things to squirt out. They can still squirt out with the contraction hold, right? The fibers are being crushed down and pinched down, but it's a little bit more difficult for that than for things being pushed outward. Okay, so we are going back between centers here. Man, this is a bummer. Such a pain in the tuchus. But I'll keep moving on. We will make it a 3-leaf vessel. And hope that this is going to run true. What fell down? I have too many tools out also, so let's put some of these away so that I'm not raining tools down into the shavings. That may not work well. Alright. Oh, hey, we're actually running through. Alright, that's awesome. So that step is taken care of. Now it's time to make myself standard hold for a chuck. Means a lot more material's got to come out, more than I really wanted to take out. But oh well. A lot more than I wanted to take out. So instead of planning for a expansion hold, I would have saved myself headache and effort if I had just gone with standard hold to begin with. All right, so now that I'm between centers, this foot is destroyed. So we're going to do something about that. Now I need to create a new one. So I'm going to have to redo the outside of this again as well. And I might be able to get away with. Actually, I will get away with. I don't say get away with. That's not exactly even the whole thing. I want to have just a little bit of lift here, so I don't need to have a really thick foot to sit on. But I do want this to be stable. So I'm making it where the foot is a little bit wider. Yeah, tuck this under just a little bit. There we go. I actually didn't have to change much of the curve either. I can blend in really nicely. Okay, now the next step is finish that off. Let's go with a little bit of scraping here. Very light touch. It's not good to have things squirt out of the lathe. That's not a good thing. Alright, so we're done scraped. Now I can sand that a little bit. That is that wide enough for these? I think it is. Yes, it's wide enough. So that's good. I'll have to cut that away, but doable. Bummage, but doable. Although, if I take that carving down into here, then this could be the front of the piece. 3 leaves on the back. Yeah, it'll work out. It'll work out fine. It'll work out fine. Design change. That's all it is. Just a little design change. Happy little accidente. I'm looking now for my saw and I'm not finding it. Did it fall off to the side? Oh, it's down here. That's why I'm not finding it, and it doesn't belong down there. Let's blow some dust off there. I'm just gonna go get rid of this. And I think we'll just go ahead and get rid of this. There we go. And that'll be relatively easy to carve. Okay, so I have this and I got a sand. So hopefully that was not a slow, hopefully that was a quick adjustment there, and I'm not losing too much time. 9:30, not bad. I need my mask, which is right here. And I need to put it on. Okay. All right. I like this new mask design from RZ. Makes it a little easier to put on and off, and it fits nicely on the face. I still want to get one of those positive displacement masks. That would be really, really cool, I think. It's kind of spendy. I'm sure it'll be well worth it. Not breathing dust anymore. But this mask does work for dust and all that. Even odors too, with the charcoal filter. I like getting the charcoal filter additions. Not that I'm working with chemicals a lot, but sometimes you can get some funky odors from timber. Okay, so now we're all sanded. Let's take this across that one more time. I'm seeing some sanding marks, and it's like, what the heck? So again, really, really light touch with the abrasive too. There we go. That'll work. That's all sanded now, and I can take this off. I can get this guy out of here. And I can get this guy out of here. Let's bring this up. Okay. Alrighty then. Okay, so design change number 5. Okay, that won't get by, so let's do this. That won't get by there. Okay, that will clear. Tool. That's the one we want.
MAV_K14 said, nice hat.
Nice hat. Yeah, right. How's it going, man? It does not like that. Oh, well. Time to change the tool, too. It's dull. That may be why it doesn't like it. Okay, I see my ring now. I want to, what do I want to do? I want to do this. Let's see, that's the wrong tool. Let's grab the tool I need. Raise this guy up once those.
Flattering Doorman said, B, combining Karen below at viewers on streamboot.com remove the space at B0ESK4XX. MAV_K14 said, DAPDI7AOL.
Flattering doorman. That's a nice. Fun. Oh. Okay. What do I do with it? Where did you go? I don't know where the hell I put it now because I'm not paying attention. Unless it fell off. Doesn't appear that it has.
K14 said, DAPDI7LOL.
I don't know what the speech chat is describing what you're typing in instead of just saying it whatever it is, so it's kind of confusing. Okay, where did that go? What the heck? Did it fall off? Better look on the other side. Oh, and then I don't need to wear this mask at the moment. How cool is that? Alright, let's see. Nope, that's not it. That would be bark. Bark, bark. Oh, duh. Goodness gracious. Yeah, I'm looking for the 10 and it's right here in the lid. Alright. Oops. Take that up a bit. Probably more than that. That was like a hair's breadth. Yeah, just a little bit more. Okay. Come on, out of there. There we go. And then I need to take a little bit off there. And that should be enough for that to register properly. Except it just didn't. So I need to open this up a little bit more. And that needs to go a little deeper. I think this is really where the wood turning really comes out, is that is a perfect fit. Holy shit. When there's a design change, what you can do with it after that. If you can. Like in this case, it didn't destroy the entire piece, thank goodness. But it could have. And often find myself saving. Is that seating properly? You know what? One way to find out. Oh, looks like it just did. You know, what you do with a design change. So in this case, I'll wind up just carving this away, right? We'll change now, instead of, you know, what changes that this has now become the front of the piece, the front of the lidded box. Now it has 3 leaves. Yeah, it's okay. I often save pieces that have I've had burls that have just come apart, and I save those pieces because I'm going to turn those into a resin project at some point. And the timber's still turnable, and there's still some shape to the pieces. And doing a resin casting will let me salvage those pieces. Okay, so I need to come up. I need to come up to here. So I need to shave that off. Let's do that. Everything's gonna clear. Wait, did I hear noise? I heard noise somewhere. Okay. So I need to take it back to about here, I think. check that. Well, I was close. Come back a little bit more. Everything clears. Thinkity think. Okay, I'm following that curve. That actually now needs to be tucked in just a little bit more. Something like that. Yes, okay. And that should be right on the money. Very good. Okay, now that I have those in place, fucking juggle all this stuff and get it moved around here. Uh-oh. Whoa, what's going on there? Ho, that's not right. There should not be a gap. What's the deal? Okay. Oh, now for the tricky part. It's all good right there. So again, as a woodturner, you are responsible ultimately for your own safety. I'm moving my tool rest into a position that I can utilize it properly, but it puts me within the realm of these wings, so I have to keep that in mind as I'm working with this piece. Let's see, that's got to come down. That's a bummer. Now, I need to take a measurement here. My super high-tech measuring device. Yeah, that'll be all right. Whoops. There we go. All right. Full gas. So again, I gotta keep that mind on those wings going around there. Let's see, I think I actually want to go this way. Not too low. Yep, too gas down low. Okay, that's pretty close. So now I can turn this guy separately, and we can hollow this dude out. Okay, and hey, I even get to take this mask off. Whew! And let's do a little something about hollowing this guy out. Let's set this aside. I need to get that out of there. Let's put this back in its carrying case so that it stays safe and ready for use. That's right, those aren't going to get by, so I need to adjust this guy instead. Whoops, not going to make that. So, I think that'll be okay. That'll all clear, right? Yes. That'll do. Oh, where did you go? There you are. Cool. Okay. Let's try to move all this stuff out of the way. You know what? I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use the 5/8 spindle gouge. At least 5/8 as we call it here in the States. Yeah, I know. I'm thinking a little bit late in the game. Oh, come on now. What's the deal? Wouldn't swap cameras that time. All right, let's check depth here. Go quite a bit deeper. All right, I think that it is time to set that onion ring. Come here, you. Oh, what am I doing? Oh, that's right. My compressor quit working. Why is that? Because it's cold? Maybe because it's cold? Ah, the reset switch has to reset. All right. Oh, glue. I need glue. I need glue. So that means I go inside to get the glue. So, glue is available. Goodness gracious. Enough. Okay. Check my depth again. Right there. Right there. And now I need to redress the edge on this guy. That curly quilted, I guess, is the term. Big leaf maple is, it's maple, it's mighty hard stuff. And of course, I'm working with burl wood too, so that that adds to the hardness factor. Hopefully, this one won't take too terribly long. We'll see. Oh. Is that straight? Yes, that's straight. Yes. Take a look. No, still needs to be. It's looking better. So here in a few minutes, I'll break down the basic anatomy of what I'm grinding with. Just having a little trouble with light and shadow. I think that was okay. Yep, all right. So I've talked about this before, but it definitely bears repeating. I want to have as much control as I can get in this process. Pardon me one second. Okay, and I'm not saying that's a lot of control. I've got no control over how this grows, no control over how things, I don't, there are things I don't have control over. But I do have control over the shape of my tool and how that affects my cut and the process, the work involved with doing this. So with my spindle gouge, actually with all my gouges, I want the nose of it to be as wide as the bottom of the flute. Same thing with my If I can find it, there it is. Spindle, my bowl gouge. A little bit harder to see because it's got some wood dust in it, but that nose, let's bring it closer. That nose is as wide as the bottom of the flute, same as this spindle gouge. So on this, it's just a straight 60-degree grind, nothing fancy. Straight 60-degree grind all the way around, and I want that nose. I don't want a sharp point. The sharper and more acute that angle is, the harder it is to control the tool. The more aggressive it gets, and the more prone it is to getting catches. So I want to have the proper geometry for the tool, which is that the point should be, or the nose of it should be, as wide as the bottom of the flute. All right, so I'll take another look here. That was it, right? Yes. So go. I can go a little bit deeper. You know what? I'll leave that alone for now. But working with sharp tools makes a ton of difference. Okay, I want to open that up. Well, not too much, because I don't want the shelf that's holding that tenon to be undercut too much at all. If I can avoid any of it, that'd be cool. I don't want it undercut. It's not that it needs to have super structural strength and all that. It's just I just want to. I'm erring on the side of longevity. Let's have that support. Okay, I think that is maybe opened up enough. I'll use my negative rake scraper for the rest of that. Let's get this tenon mounted in there. Actually, before I do that, let's need to clean off that little corner right there where it's going to sit. There we go. Get the little fuzz off that little corner right there and around that corner a bit. Let's get rid of the little happy sawdust particles. So, what I like to do is line up the grain. That's what I like to do. You are under no such constraints. No, what is that from? Okay, back on the lathe you go. I did not see that. That must have been damage from when it came off the lathe. Ah! Okay. Clean up some more damage. Oh, wait a minute. Look at that. You know, I don't know. But if the fibers aren't torn, I can steam that. And bring a lot of that back up to the surface. And I won't have to turn away so much. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to grab my iron. For those who are asking, but not asking out loud, I have an iron. I've had an iron ever since I was. Oh, here, let's do this. Yeah, there we go. So, yeah, I have an iron. I've had an iron ever since I was in the military. I know how to use one. I know my way around an ironing board. Sewing machine. Yeah, I know my way around those things. All right. Steam. So I'm going to grab my iron and a little bit of water. I'll be right back. It's going to take a little bit for the iron to heat up, but that's okay. We're going to go through all these steps. These are the things that I have to go through when I'm working on a piece, and I see now that I have missed some damage earlier, but this might save me, well, it will save me some work. How much, I don't know. We'll find out when we get to that point. Let's see. There's iron. There's the water. Let's get rid of that twisty type guy because we got lost. I better put. I don't need much water, but I better put some more water. And actually, that's why it's not working so great. Okay. Alley-oop. Okay. Refilled on the water. Iron handy. Get the door. Okay. This will be my go-to from now on, man. This is just really cool. Let's change the view to what's actually going to be happening. I think you can see that damage on camera. And that's what I'm going to iron out. Steam out. But I'm going to use my iron. Oops. And a paper towel. And some water. All right, let's turn it all the way up. And we'll wait for for a minute or two while that dude warms up. Probably wouldn't hurt to put, oh, I guess I gotta get water coming out of this guy in the first place. There we are. A little bit of water on the wood right now. Don't need a lot. I'm gonna be using the paper towel more. both not to scorch the wood, but also to hold the water and force the steam down into those fibers and have them blossom right back up, or at least as far as they're able to. If the fibers are broken,
Shmuel said, press them regardless.
yes, press on, press on, press on. So, this wet spot is where the damage is. If the fibers are not broken, well, completely like, sheared off, then almost all of that will come back to the surface. If the fibers are broken, what's broken won't quite match up right. Regardless, I'll have a little bit of sanding to do here, but most of that should pop back out. I hope. I hope that is the plan, Stan. Mav K14, hey dude, what I've got here on my HUD is that you are on a 3-stream streak, man. Thank you very much for coming back again and again. I appreciate it. I'm glad you're finding value in the broadcast. At the very least, entertainment. Hopefully, you are getting some education out of it and learning some things and getting to learn, about the process of. I mean, when you're turning, like, how do you design it? How do you how do you come up with these ideas? It's like everybody's going to have a different take on things. Not hot enough yet. Just letting my imagination run out with the practice that I've put in with turning. This is, like, say, my favorite way to turn is to just throw a lump up there and see what comes out. Sometimes often I have an idea of what I'd like to come out. Sometimes I don't. That's my favorite way, though, is to go in with no ideas, no expectations. Like, what are we doing here? And then going with it. So it's almost all the way out. I'm going to let the iron catch up again with the heat. It's just the tip of the iron, really, that I'm using because it's a small area. If it was a long flat piece, I'd just use the whole bottom of the iron. But since I've got this curve, I'm not using much of it. Okay, so I can feel that the wood is mostly popped out. I'm going to try to get a little bit more of this right here to pop out, but then I can let it dry. And I think just sanding is going to take care of it. Although I can kind of see on this particular one, oh, doggone it, wrong, wrong camera. I can see on this little guy, which I don't know if you can see that on camera, just above my fingernail. It looks like the fibers are broken right in there. So we'll see. We'll see when we get to that point. Where the fibers are broken, it's not popping back up. But almost all that damage is gone now. The worst is where the fibers are broken right there. Let's see, I think I can get this guy out some more. And I imagine you could use a soldering iron, any kind of a heat, something controllable heat source so you can rub across the surface and get steam generated. And I'm going to shut this guy all the way off now. And I'm going to use the wood a little bit to cool down the iron by using the iron. Did I miss something? No, using the iron to evaporate some of that water. At least that I can get to without putting a mark on the wood. And I will take this bad boy back inside, since it has done its job very well, I might add. But that's got to be my go-to for stuff like that. Otherwise, it's, turning away the surface to the depth of wherever the dings are. And if that is an eighth of an inch or more, that's that much. Essentially, it's the depth. If you multiply that by 2, that's the diameter that you're taking away. So on a quarter of an inch in the round, it's actually half an inch. It's quarter and a quarter. So yeah, all right. Where I was right here. Water does not need to be out here either. Although I think it's safe to leave it right there. It's not. Doesn't seem like it's cold enough to freeze. All right, got a nice burr on this guy. So I'm going for that. I don't care that, I'm going to be cutting air here. I'm not trying to pretty this up. This is all going to get cut away. But the surface down here needs to be straightened up in the area that I had to spray water and there was some damage. So, boy, I do not like it when that happens. Alright, let's see. I actually need to redress the burr on that. But it is cleaning it up. Alright, so it did clean up most of that. So that'll work. And with the yeah, that'll work just fine. Let me redress the burr here. This may be. Nah, that's silly, man. I was gonna say this may be too wet to get a good shear scrape, but that's silly because I turn green wood all the time. That's dumb. nice shear scrape. I'm gonna have to sand that anyway, but I want to clean it up as much as possible. Oh yeah, that looks nice. I'm gonna clean it up as much as possible, and that's it right there. Okay, so I need to take my spindle gouge. Get right down in that corner down there. Do a little bit of shear scraping this way and scraping in this direction. If I can get a shear scrape, I will. So I want to look down in that. And I don't think I want to see that. I don't know if that took care of it, so since it might be on this side, okay. Whoops. Okay, so do that sanding now, and that'll be all good. So time to put the mask back on. Let's grab this guy. Yeah, I'll grab this guy. So I need to get right down in there. Will that do it? Not quite. A little bit more. There we go. You are 220. Oh, this is 150 up here, right? Yes. And the mask should be to the right here. There we go. It's cool. I need to have like this with a backdrop or something, some kind of a cool. Maybe I don't. Maybe just black or what it is now. I don't know. Don't want to detract from the turning and being able to see what's going on, and for those times when people have questions, answering and having the space to answer or ask those questions in the first place. And questions are always welcome. See how that looks. Not bad, not bad. Okay. How we doing now, boss? Okay, I see a problemo. Well, a couple problems. One, not enough room to move shit around. Two, there's a tool mark. And I don't want to turn it into a bead or anything like that. Where'd you go? Not bad. Could be better. There's a shear scrape. Nice. Golly, I don't know. You see, maybe on my finger. Maybe without the light pointing right at it. I don't have anything dark. Maybe that would help. The shavings off the superfine shear scrape. La 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 la. What would you say if I sang out this tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me? Lend me your ear and I'll sing you a song. And I'll try not to sing out of key. Oh, get a little help from my friends. Hey, have a little help from my friends. That'll work. Okay. Okay, very nice. Good, good, good. Okay, that's the 150. Let's see what I got here. Okay, perfect. Yes, I'm certain that it happens all the time. Okay. And now moving on to the 220. Okay, need that light back. Keeping in mind those those wings and that broken bit of timber swinging around it. whatever this is, 600-800 RPM. Remember doing an experiment as a kid with a sewing machine and a piece of cardboard. Turn that sewing machine into a saw, a radial saw, by cutting a cardboard disc. And running that puppy, turned it, around that back wheel rotating where you used to be a belt. I don't know if there is a belt that runs there anymore. But it helps you, let you back off the needle, all that stuff. So off the back of that, rotating cardboard will cut through a lot of things, man. Pretty wild. So if rotating cardboard will cut through a lot of things, I can only imagine that edge coming around and me sticking my hand right in front of it might open me up for a whole new surprise. Hardy har har. And I think I'd like to avoid that. Thank you very little. Or thank you very much. Okay. So even though I'm sanding tons of air, I'm really catching just those 3 wings because I'm using a really, really light touch. I mean, it's just enough contact to get this thing to spin. That's it. I'm not trying to force my way against it or anything. So essentially what's winding up happening is that I'm sanding all the high spots off, which is exactly what I want to do. Very, very light touch, just enough contact to keep that pad rotating. That's all there is to it. Don't need a ton of pressure. So I don't know if did that start again? I can't remember. It didn't. Oh, because I had to start it so it would reset. There it goes. All right. It doesn't reset until I remove power. I should remember that. How often have I had to deal with that in my lifetime, my career, past career, or whatever? Many times. Many times. What am I doing right now? Oh, just a little bit of cleanup. This is, maybe I don't have to. Maybe I'm just saying, I'm seeing the quilting and it looks like it's a bad sanding job from a certain angle, but when I rotate it, I can see the chatoyance running through it. That's all right, man. Okay. I think there's probably a really good sanding there, except for that part, which I should do right now. Huh, don't hang that up. At least from this angle, it looks like that. Let me look at it from a different angle, because that might be the quilting in it. Nope, don't think so. That would appear to be the only spot. That's done. That's done. That's done. Okay, very cool. Alright, one more spin around the block here, and I can move on to gluing this tenon in here, this onion ring in there. A lot of dust. Lot of dust. Hey. Beautimous. Man, this stuff does sand up pretty nicely. I mean, it is maple, but still. My glasses should not be fogging up, and they're fogging up. Okay, I needed, what did I need? I needed this guy, because I also have to get that corner chamfered. guess that one doesn't matter so much since I'm going to cut it off. Let's see where else I could use a little abrasive. Okay. All right, let's take this bad boy off. First thing, I want to check. Oop, wrong direction, Dave. That's right. This is not an expansion hole. Hooray for that. Running true. Running true, he says. That's why I hate that. Daggone it. That's that guy, but that's not this guy. That's the guy that's gonna give me trouble. Come on. That guy. I don't think this worked in the past because it wasn't wide enough. That is again my ruling on the matter. Let's take this mask off. Because it's getting mighty humid behind that mask. Which is strange. Must not be getting a good seal. Oh, well, on the other hand, I've let my beard grow quite a bit. So I think I'll have to trim my beard very soon. Okay, what was I after? I was after pipe wrench. Hello, my friend. I could use your assistance, please. From my pipe fitting days. Still have every single, just about, every job, every career path or whatever, still have those tools. There we go. These pipe wrenches are, well, at the time, I thought they were stupid expensive. Not making much money as an apprentice and all that kind of groovy stuff. But I only had to buy them once. The jaws are replaceable. And I've replaced the jaws in all three of my pipe wrenches at least twice. But they've been great tools, and and a lesson learned too. Glad I learned or spent the money. Needed to anyway, regardless, but glad I spent the money because these are going to last. Probably last longer than I will. Twisted a bunch of pipe with those wrenches. Okay. All right, so here I am again. What am I doing? What am I doing? Did I just put this back up here to... I did, didn't I? Silly. Oh, yeah, okay. Sidetracked because I had to remove all of this. All right. All right, so I want to take this off the lathe because I prefer to do my best to line up the grain when I'm working with pieces like this. So I see how the grain runs here. And I'm just going to kind of move it around to see where it looks like it matches the best. It's not going to be perfect. It is two different pieces of wood, although this will match the lid wood. But as an intermediary piece, it'll blend in fine. Everything is groovy. I just want to find where my grain seems to want to run. So I see, I'm not going to be able to match it exactly, but I do see it's going to look really close. But I can see the ring pattern here is a lot closer, and then they get wider out this way. So for one, I'm speculating that the center of the tree was off in this direction. But for two, I'm also noticing that pattern on this piece. On this side, the grain lines or the rings are closer together than they are here. They spread out here. And if I rotate this piece, some of these lines actually line up. So that's awesome. That's not so bad. I mean, like I say, it's only going to be close, but that ain't so bad. All right. Oh, good thing I got my water out here too, so I can wipe off any excess glue on the outside here. Oh, there's some, which that was the first bit of excess glue. Of course, it didn't happen until I mentioned it. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay. So, somewhere in this neighborhood, if I rotated it like that. So I will take my whammer, make sure that is all seated down there. Since this piece was only used as ironing material, and the water is right over here, I will use these things to wipe up that little bit of excess glue. Because I don't see it anywhere else. Oh, maybe just a touch. Right down here. I can see it better with the light now. Although I don't think. Okay, yeah. And then just a wee bit over here. If I can get to it, I think I need a little assistance. looks good. Oh, let's close up the glue, clean off the nozzle. What are we doing on time? Oh, it's 11 o'clock already. All right, so we're going to continue this tomorrow evening. I'm going to, let me turn off the compressor real quick. Oh, I can turn off the light at the grinder as well. So here we are at 11 p.m. and all right, so should I be streaming tomorrow, which the plan is to stream tomorrow, then I will continue to work on this piece. This is obviously work in progress. It's been fun so far, and clearly going to be playing around with some design considerations. Oh, but I think if I set a curve there, brain distraction, where I want to cut this off, I think I can scribe a line. Let's see. Let's get this camera. Oh, let's wipe off that camera again. Oh, well, since the compressor is... There we go. Oh. Dust everywhere. Okay. Yes. Yes. Scribing a line. I'm not actually going to do it right now. I just want to see what the potential is. And will this open up enough? I may have to use my transom, which is, that'll be okay. I'll be able to take that dude out. Let's see if I do it there. Yep, it won't make it out that far. But even if I was at the corner, all right, let's look at it this way. So if I go that corner, whoa, that corner, move back this way, that corner to that corner, that will get me right down inside there. So that would be a good line to follow, would be to take it right down into there and carve right into that. Yeah, that might be a really good plan, to scribe that line that way. And then I get right down into that line. I can actually cut away some of that, so that curve, you'll clearly see that curve follows this other curve, because this will be cut away and then sanded down that way. Yeah. All I got to do is cut a hole in here, open this up, and then finish hollowing out the inside. I'm going to use my negative rake scraper to kind of open it up a little bit more on the outside walls here. Not a whole lot. I don't need a whole lot of... I'm not super worried about it getting a really thin wall thickness on this particular piece. I do want it to be a little bit bottom heavy. Not super bottom heavy, but a little bit bottom heavy. Just for stability as a box. Okay, so that's that for this evening. For those of you who, and sorry about the technical difficulties, I'm working on a solution, which is buying a new computer and then learning how to run that new computer, because I haven't worked with Windows in almost 2 decades. What was the last Windows I played with? I loved 3.1. 3.1 was super awesome. XP was also very good. I liked the XP. What was the last Windows I hit? Windows 10. But, geez, man, that would have been 2009, 2010. So 2010 was the last time I had a Windows. That's not true. 2013. So it's been 12 years, 13 years since I have done any Windows work at all. So it'll be interesting. It's a learning curve for Dave. Be able to, I don't know what's changed with Windows. I've done some preliminary checks into Windows 11. A lot of unhappy users there. Sounds like there's a lot of spyware, a lot of forced participation in certain things, like giving up of information, but things that can be turned off if you know the right way to do that. Those are what I've stumbled across, not what I've tried to find. I was just trying to find out more about Windows 11 and found out that there are a lot of unhappy people and um, I want to call it spyware, but it's just blatant theft of personal information. I mean, that's the bottom line. And obtrusive ads that play and all kind. I mean, it's just dumb. It's dumb. It's that why are you using a computer OS as a platform for ads and data collection? I guess I could kind of understand the idea behind data collection because you're on the internet, the data's there, blah blah blah. I wish that he would leave the data alone. That's not the point, but it's like I don't understand why you would want to use an operating system as a platform for advertising. That is just unconscionable, in my opinion. When you have to pay for an operating system, and you have to pay to update it, and you have to pay to each time that they get a new operating system. You got to buy that. Um, for them to throw ads at people like that, that's what I heard about Windows anyway. I think is pretty rude. Pretty rude. Anyway, I'll be learning Windows soon. Relearning Windows soon. So thank you for joining me on this Twitch Tuesday. Tomorrow is Christmas Eve for those that celebrate Christmas, December 24th. For me, it's going to be the third day of the new year, right? Because the solstice was the 21st, and after the solstice, daylight hours get longer. That for me is spring, the awakening, the things are starting to wake up. It's going to take a little while, right? But we're past the dead of winter now, finally, at least. Not cosmologically or whatever. I don't know. I don't even know. Just trying to look at it as a positive that now, because I mean, it gets dark at about like 5:30, 5:20 in the winter here, and like the daylight hours are very short, and it's mostly gray for the winter, and to learn that the daylight hours now are getting longer, steadily getting longer, all the way up to summer equinox, which is or summer solstice, which is when my birthday is. It's great. The days are getting longer and longer. Pretty soon, it'll be. Well, I say pretty soon. In the summer, it'll be the sun will set at 10:30 p.m. and not 5:30 p.m. So we lose like 5 hours of daylight at least, not counting the morning hours. And then this stupid daylight savings time. We should just end it and abolish it. But don't get me ranted on that. Anyway, thanks for joining me on this Twitch Tuesday. It's the last Twitch Tuesday of 2025. And I want to wish everybody happy holidays. Thank you very, very much for joining me and supporting this channel, for watching, chatting, subscribing, following, sharing it amongst your friends, all those things. I certainly appreciate it. Every little bit helps. Definitely helps the algorithms, and I want to be able to reach as many people as I possibly can. So thank you for your help along the way. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. I hope you stay friendly. Yes, enjoy the rest of your evening, and I hope to see you tomorrow night, 8 to 11 Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully, we'll get things done just before the Jolly Fat Man tries to break into your house. All right. Good night, folks.